Welcome back to your 5th week. This 5th week is going to complete everything that you need before you start going through each of the developmental stages as they are presented in the workbook. And I know I keep saying this is the last week, this is the last week. It's amazing. This is an amazing process for me, by the way, to really go back over the 20 years of information that I've compiled and that I've written and that I've recorded and that I've added, all the different little pieces that I've added. It's really nice to kind of see what my ball of legacy is. And this week, what I'm bringing to you is a deeper understanding of the 7 developmental stages. Now, we've hit on those. We hit on them in the introduction chapter, and we hit on them with the addictions. But now we're going to look at them from a much deeper and comprehensive angle. And so you've got videos that support the 7 developmental stages and an introduction to them. But the other thing that I'm offering this week is an introduction to the 7-layer process. That this is the process that I first combined with the inner child and the EFT work. So that is basically what I call my signature healing process. And I applied it generically just to an inner child healing. Through the next developmental stages, I'm going to be interfacing some of those EFT sequences. Now, the main thing that I want to do in the 7 weeks that follow is to really bring to you the digitalized version of each of those developmental stages. I'll be adding the EFT sequences to it. But anytime I do EFT with an inner child issue, I'm constantly moving through this 7-layer process. And there are 7 videos that I've given you access to. The short videos, again, that give you an introduction to it. The week ends with you getting a chance to be introduced both in meditation, a meditation transcript, as well as an audio to your future self. So that's who I really want you to connect with. In my radio shows, what I used to do is I used to end them with a meditation where people would imagine that they're standing at the beginning of one of those conveyor belts, you know, like what we see when we're going to the airport. And you stand at the beginning of the conveyor belt and you set your intention for what you want to attain. And you envision that future self at the end of that conveyor belt. And then I would invite people to step onto the conveyor belt and recognize that just merely by giving yourself definition of the future self, you empower that future self to attract you to him or her. And so that's what we're left with. And that's what we're going to go through in the next 7 weeks of the 7 developmental stages. Then I take all of that, the 7-layer and the 7 developmental stages, and we apply it to different areas of concern. So we are on a real roll here, and I'm excited. I think, again, this week has a very, very hefty PDF booklet. But as we get into the developmental stages, because the written material is more contained in the actual book, the little booklets will probably get smaller. But you know me, you know, I get into it and I start pulling all this stuff together. So each week I'm organically creating this and then making it available. So again, thanks for your interest. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to do this. It's a real pleasure. And have a good week. Until next week, have a good one.